Hi, I'm Telkiney, the Nerd Navigator. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be discussing the current patch that was released yesterday for Everquest. You know, I've seen when I was playing World of Warcraft, I used to see a lot of videos being posted, going in depth on what currently was being updated in patches and so forth. And I kind of liked digesting that information that way. So today I'm going to do the same for Everquest patch that just came out on May 17th. So with no further ado, let's start talking about it. Also, for those interested in my channel and so forth, maybe wondering why I didn't upload last week, I've been working on a machinima type episode for a little bit now. Here, even I can give you a little peek. Hello, I'm Telkiney, the Nerd Navigator, and you're watching the Evening Norathian News, Norath's only news source. So, we're kind of your only choice tonight. And so, anyway, I've been working on that, but it's taking all of my expertise of video editing to make it work, and it's been a lot of trial and error for me, and so I'm trying to get it finished and get it out to you guys. I'm hoping that it will be enjoyable. As you saw, probably the mouth does move, but there's a animation like yawn that does. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to crop that. And anyway, so long story short, my inability to edit video very quickly is the reason why I haven't had anything out yet. I'm just really excited about the project. I want it to be good before I release it, so that's where the delay is coming from. So getting into the patch notes, you can view the patch notes for yourself in the link in the description below if you'd like to bring that up quickly so you can read over it with me. But it's there on the Everquest forums. I'm just going to read it from my notepad because I color coded some things that I really want to talk about specifically. So the first thing is increase to throwing speed thanks to bandoliers. So bandoliers will now increase throwing speed similar to archery with quivers. So that's going to be really great for say rogues that use assassination with throwing, and for berserkers that just throw things in general, and I guess a little bit for monks when we're in a range only fight and we have to throw things. We really don't have a lot of damage there, but hey, you know, it's there, I guess, now. So that'll be an interesting change for throwing classes. I don't know of many bandolier items, so that'll be also interesting. If anyone has the time and they know what items count as bandoliers, can you link them in the description, like from Alakazam or something? I'd be really interested, actually, because I could only find one with that name besides this bandolier Lucelin, and they nerfed the bandolier Lucelin at 10%, not 100%. So maybe they're gonna add more in the future. I don't know. Is it just the pouches that you get from the summoning? Maybe like when you summon a tampons, you know, whatever. Anyway, I don't know if I pronounced that right either. So moving on, the classic zones are revamping back to their classic appearance from whatever modified appearance that is. Not the zones themselves, I'm sorry, just make sure it's the weapons in the zones. Sorry, if you just heard that, probably would have thought that they're revamping Freeport and East Commons and West Commons back to their old original selves. No, it's the weapons that and shields and appearance items that dropped. They're reverting back to their classic appearance. So I didn't know that they had done that in the scheme of things, but it makes sense because I was looking at a lamentation just to kind of remake my classic warrior at one point, and when I looked it up in game, it looks like this, and I don't remember it looking like that back in the day when I had my Troll Warrior with a Lamentation. I remember this just being kind of like a darker gray, and it just all being gray, like similar to how this like it looks in the icon but not that. So maybe that's what they're referring to, stuff like that. So that'll be interesting and cool, I think, for people that are looking for that real classic feel when they play the TLPs or whatnot. Me personally, I feel like it's a step back. I honestly, that's my opinion. I know that other people are probably going to enjoy this immensely, but I would assume the reason they changed those is because they had updated models, better texture packs, and so forth, and that's why they made the changes. This will be a theme in another change that they made with mobs and creatures. But anyway, it just, if they made that change, it's because they thought that it looked better. But now they're going back, I guess, for that classic feel, and that's cool. That's cool for those people. Just in my opinion, I'm not a fan of the change, but for others, I'm sure it's going to be awesome. So they made a bunch of changes to they now on non-progression servers, a very old item that gives like 40 HP can be made again. Woo! Defiant, I'm sure, is better. So I don't know. So I don't know what the point of doing a non-progression is. If anyone's trying to make it though, have at it. They made a bunch of event fixes. Usually what these are. Although some changes like the Necro Skull Caps are no longer multi-questable. So otherwise, most of these changes are like to achievements, like because something wasn't working and whatnot with the achievement system. And it looks like they consolidated some events. If you're interested in the events and so forth, go over this. I'm not going to spend too much time in it because they're just one-off kind of quest lines and so forth. But check it out. Also, heritage events start June 7th. That is cool for the people on non-progression servers. So the next thing is a huge change for low-level druids and shamans. You no longer, you're gonna get back hopefully to where you were before, if not better. But yeah, so for those interested, a while ago they revamped druid and shaman dots and beast lord dots, I believe, but it had a problem or effect in that it affected low level druid and shaman buffs dots to not be good, because they're used to stack different level versions and so forth. It was really great, but the changes that they made really affected them and they're never the same. So now they're increasing the damage and the mana cost so that you don't have to stack them. It acts like as if you had stacked them on your own. So I think it's going to be a great change for druids and shamans, especially with the new server coming up. I wonder if there was a few people hesitant to even play those classes due to the underpowering of those dot lines, thanks to the change that occurred, half a year to a year ago. So good, awesome for druids and shamans. It's a good buff, but really it was just unnerfing a change that was made, thanks to high level stuff going on. So the next one is a big deal for melee classes, in particular, that they fixed a bug or corrected a bug that prevented you from using short duration buffs that are combat abilities while you have a disc running. So they gave an example of the Drunken Monkey style for monks, or Breather, which isn't a monk style, but the endurance regeneration for all melee classes, Berserker, Rogue, warrior and monks, where it regens endurance when you're below a certain percent. But you couldn't run that if you had a discipline running, like Final Stand for warrior, or as Storm for monk, or the knife fighting or something discipline for rogue, for example. Any of these long running disciplines you wanted to keep running in between your burn cycles, you couldn't run some of these abilities with them. I thought that was by design, but I guess not. So great change. Now we can get our endurance back between pulls. So the next one is just a aggro decrease on certain alliance spells and the monk curse of the 13 fingers. So that's a great change if you were having some aggro problems. This is usually used in raids, and I never really had much problem with aggro there, but hey, I mean, you can feign death, but more power to them. Zerkers, it looks like, received a nerf. Don't know too much about this, but I'm assuming if they change the function to a discipline, it means that it can't be stacked with other disciplines if it was stacking before. So, aka a nerf. Looks like that'll increase their burn rotation, but at the cost of not being able to stack it with certain things. So maybe that's just trying to get them a little bit more in line with all the other classes in terms of their damage, because as I understand, they're still at the top of the food chain, and they just need to be brought down just a little bit, guys. Sorry, I know you don't want to be. Who wants to be nerfed, right? Like, but let's be real. If you're at the top echelon and everybody else is way down here, something needs to change to normalize that. So, sorry. And then Necros, I'm not too certain about this change, but looks like these couple of spells are gonna, cast the highest rank of the component, but also ring 2 and ring 3 will have a higher chance now to cast both dots in addition to the base debuff. So, have at it, boys. They fixed a null that used to spawn inside the world. Now spawns outside the world. Now, here's the last rant about classic stuff. So, classic monsters in Norath, in classic zones, Lost Dungeon, Norath, and earlier, will have their classic appearance revamped to the old one, or reverted from the revamps. That said, I still think this is a big step backwards. I thought the new spider models were good. I thought the new goblin models were good. I thought the new wolves, the new lions, all of those looked really, the mummies were amazing. And now they're going to be those boxy kind of, graphics. Will it look more like classic stuff? Yes. But that works, man. Damn. But I personally don't like it, but again, if you love the classics, you want to go back to that all the time, and you want it to look like that, like how you remember it, this change is going to be for you. So, congratulations. The good old times. All right. So, mercenaries now automatically get suspended when you join a raid. So, for those of you that forget to suspend your mercenary when you take a raid invite and then get yelled at by your raid leader for why did you ask for invite if you don't have your mercenary out, this change is for you, my friend, and for, I guess, the raid leaders, so they don't have to actually yell at people. Then for progression servers only, it looks like they made this this enchanter mez available when Planes of Power unlocks. They also made Agents of Change revert back to a more appropriate appearance for the Agnar server. Then they also had event calendar events for Finnegal and Agnar when their future expansions are going to unlock. This is it tying into a UI change that occurs down below here, but get into that a little bit more. They also revamped or they changed some of the Plane of Hate revamp stuff to be able to cast a few more spells, Mark the old ways is like I think it's a tank debuff and so forth. Maybe it's on a random timer too, or a random target. But anyway, so those raids are going to be just a little bit harder. And then they added achievements for original Everquest and Kunark for Hunter and Raid achievements. So that's pretty cool. Especially when you start off on Agnar, which I know a lot of people are planning on doing. So now you get those achievements whenever you get like Frenzy and any other type of named mob. So that'll be cool for you guys. UI changes. So they added an event calendar. Awesome. So it'll display all the events year round. So no more of those boxes that just tell you when the event's going on. Now we'll be able to just check it out via the EQ button when an event's going to be planned, and it'll unlock and show the time and whatnot. So it's going to be awesome. I'm actually looking forward to that because I'm always like, man, when's the Heritage start, or when's Fabled start, that kind of stuff. So that's going to be all in there for us. They also made the potion belt toggleable through the EQ menu instead of just having to have a hot button. And then they added the following command menu to display when left clicking on a player's name in the chat menu. So before it was just like spam and like something else, like to report them, right, or block them. But now you can send a tell, send an invite to a group, raid, task, or even dynamic zone. So this is going to be amazing for raid leaders, let me tell you, and for people looking for groups and so forth. You can just, they send you a tell and you don't have to type their name. Oh, was that an I or an L, capital I or whatever. It just bam, there, boom, you can invite them. That's amazing. So great quality of life increase. It's my cat, sorry. Great quality of life improvement for raid leaders and group leaders and so forth. That's going to make forming raids a lot easier for them. Next, they added timestamp colors so that you can change them automatically without having this disabled feature for matching chat color settings. So you change the chat stamp color you want. I don't use timestamps though, so more power to you if you do. So made a number of improvements and adjustments to heroic stats, essentially. Like when power sources increase them, they weren't displaying those changes, stuff like that. So a lot of good fixes for that. And then they fixed new players not properly having like the sit, the melee attack, and all that kind of default hot buttons. And then for you UI people out there, these are changes to UIs, so please update your UIs. Thank you. We the community, thank you for your investment and sharing of those fun and unique UIs. If anyone can get the deltas in a 2K format, I would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. I need to learn how to do that, but I feel like I don't have the time for that and maintain this channel. So that's our patch, guys. About every month or so they put out a new patch, and it's really good to read over it because there's some little things that they do, like this change that if you didn't read it, maybe you wouldn't know until you discovered it a month or two from now when you right clicked on somebody that these new options appear. So stuff like that is really, really great. I think some good balance changes definitely needed for the Druid and Shaman, and I'm sorry for the Berserker too. I know everybody likes to be on top, but let's be real, guys. So I hope you guys have a great day. If you do like this shirt, you can pick it up in the description below the video. And so thank you. I hope you have a great day, and may Kazakul bless you, which may sound bad because he's like the god of fear, but I'm an Ikazar, so too bad.